Alrighty guys, Chase on Two Wheels here at Mountain Motorsports in Roswell, Georgia. In front of me, I have Honda's new Scrambler, their SCL500. This has got the same engine as the Rebel 500 and a few of the other bikes in Honda's lineup, but they're entering the Scrambler market, which is super fascinating. I cannot wait to ride this thing today. It's a first ride. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see what it sounds like. Alrighty guys, that's what it looks like and that's what it sounds like. Now this video is not sponsored, but it is supported by my website wbrgarage.com, where we build motorcycles and then we give them away. If you want to win our current build, it's a 2018 Yamaha R6 and we're turning it into the ultimate R6M model. It's going to be fantastic. If you guys want to get entries to win that motorcycle, just go to wbrgarage.com, grab some merch, you can grab a membership. All of those things will give you entries automatically enter to win. It's all contabulated on the website. It's a great time. Top link down below. You can check that out. Now, without further ado, let's get on this bike. Alrighty guys, look, I actually remembered my quad lock today. If you guys want a discount on quad locks, it's the best phone mount. I wouldn't trust anything else. Alrighty guys, SCL500. I keep having a hard time remembering the name SCL. It's kind of weird, but overall I'm really excited about this bike. I think it's going to be awesome to check out, and you'll notice no key. It's there on the side. How neat is that? So we'll get the bike turned on, get the little dash here. No rider mode, so we don't got to worry about anything like that. Pull the clutch in, get it going. I have warmed the bike up, don't worry. All right guys, I'm 5'10", got a 32-inch inseam, and as you guys can see, I do have bent legs, but the pegs are kind of thick and they're kind of in a spot where my legs want to be, so my legs have to be a little farther out. But overall, really solid riding position, and I think it would be solid even if you're a little bit taller of a rider. All right guys, it's first ride. Let's get this thing going. Also, I love that truck. Oh my god. So guys, if you are a Discord style person, we got a motorcycle Discord that you should totally check out. It's totally free. We'll have a link for you in the description if you guys want to hang out with other Discord peeps while we wait for traffic. All right boys, let's get it going. All right, I think this might be the first 500cc Honda that I've ridden, other than the CBR 500 that has the exact same engine as this guy here. But I'm really excited about this market, guys. I'm a big fan of the Scramblers. I love the Ducati Scramblers. I love the Triumph Scramblers. So I think today's going to be a really fun ride. And also, this engine is used in so much of Honda's lineup. It's the CB500X. It's the Rebel 500, the CBR 500, and this SCL 500. This engine is used all over the place, so this should be good. But guys, this is a first ride. Let's talk about body position. Now, one of the hallmarks of the Scrambler is the really big seat that I'm sitting on. It's very comfortable. It strikes a really good position between being soft and hard. It's kind of in the middle zone, but I would say it's a little harder than I kind of expected. It looks like it's going to be super soft, and it's only kind of soft. And now, as far as body position, my legs are kind of in a medium tuck right now, and then my upper half is straight up, and my arms are kind of draped down on the handlebar here. I love this position for like city cruising. I think it's fantastic. I am really curious to see how the bike responds on the highway though, because as you guys can see, we've got no protection up front. Overall, I think this is an incredibly awesome casual riding position that puts you in a good spot to get to the ground with your legs. And for a bike that seems like it's kind of leaning towards city cruising, that's absolutely fantastic. Now, traffic is stopping for some reason or other. Alright, so guys, this is typically part of the video where I talk about modes and stuff like that. You have a very boiled down bike here. There's no rider modes, there's no real electronics to speak of other than ABS. You do have ABS on this model, which I do love seeing. ABS is just something that I think should be standard on most bikes these days. But no rider modes or anything like that. So because of that, we can move straight into the city performance on the SCL500 here. So guys, when it comes to city performance on the SCL500, I do feel like this is where this bike really shines. And even some of its less than ideal characteristics really come in handy. And what I mean by that is the suspension. Now, this bike is $67.99, I think is the MSRP. And with a price like that, you're not going to get really high-end spec stuff. And I do find the suspension to be a little soft. Here's the thing, though. In the city, we've got brand new roads here, and they're still, like, making new parts of the road. So as you guys can see the cars around me, the road is bumpy as hell. But with this softer suspension, it softens all of that stuff up. And this thing is like riding a couch. It is extremely comfortable, even when the road conditions are, let's be honest, shit. I have found it fantastic. Also, with a weight of 419 pounds, the bike is very light. Now, when we compare that with the handlebar setup that we have here, the upright body position, I feel like I have so much control of this bike and can just wiggle it all over the place. That larger front tire does make it a little slower to like flick in, you know, when you're talking about traffic. Is this car going to get over on me like the last one did? This body position really promotes you to just feel like you're in control of this bike, and I really like that feeling, especially in the city where it's going to be slow speed stuff coming up to a red light like this. This is kind of where this thing is fun. It's super light. It takes no energy to just move it around the lane. I think if you're going to ride in the city, you are going to literally fall in love with this bike. You guys know I love handlebars on bikes that I am going to be riding in the city a lot. And lightweight definitely helps out. I do want to check the balance up here if we end up stopping. I want to see if I can get that dash to say 0 while before my foot goes down. Real torquey, this bike, at least the way it feels. All right, let's see if we can get it to 0 while we're still moving. Oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shoot. I can't do it. I can't do it. These lighter bikes are harder, man. There's not a lot of weight to balance on. I do feel like Honda's got the balance down really well, though. It's super light. I like more weight when I'm trying to do the balancing thing. Another thing that I'm noticing, and we'll talk more about it later, but the clutch is very light, and I mean that in a good way, because remember, I'm looking at this bike as a kind of like city cruising bike, and you're going to be using the clutch a lot. You're going to be in traffic a lot. Your fingers are not going to get tired because the clutch is so light. I very much appreciate that. I'm trying to look at this bike from the user case of the person I feel like will be using it. And stick around to the end of the video and we'll talk about who the ideal person is for this bike. So this has been all of our low speed city stuff. Up here, after we turn right, we should get a little more speed underneath us, and we'll get to see how the bike handles at that point. One of the things I'm not a huge fan of while I'm sitting in traffic is how much play I have on the throttle. Look at that. I got to rotate the throttle quite a bit before I start getting some resistance and actually pulling the throttle. I wish I could get that out of there somehow. Maybe there's some sort of a mod or adjustment you can get for it. You know, for a little 500 or 471cc parallel twin, that horn is huge. This engine is so fun and torquey in the city. I am a fan. You know, and I really like the CBR500 for the same reason. It's just fun, torquey power. And that's the exact sort of power I really prefer on the city streets. You know, a little bit of a taller seat height it seems like, but can still throw the bike in between my legs. Green light, let's go so Chase doesn't melt. The exhaust doesn't sound necessarily amazing here on city street speeds, but I love the power delivery, man. Even like when you get past that little throttle free play, you get this little torquey feel. They'll just send you through traffic. I love this. So guys, what's interesting with this bike is with that larger front tire, it does kind of stabilize the bike. And yes, that makes the bike seem a little less flicky, but I do kind of like the stability I'm feeling. And power-wise, I'm feeling great as far as in the city. All right, guys, this is going to be the proving ground for the SCL500. We are coming up on the highway. I hope it does okay, but I'm curious to see how it does. I have no mode to put it in to be sporty. All right, question is, will we get this green light? All right, guys, it's time for the 40 to 80 pull brought to you guys by Law Tigers. If you guys need a motorcycle lawyer, they are the ones to go with. Hopefully, I will stop at 80 miles an hour and I won't find myself in need of a motorcycle lawyer today. We do have a lot of traffic. This is not going to be fun. We're going to have to use that extra lane today, boys. All right, guys, 40 to 80 pull on a 2023 Honda SCL500, brought to you by Law Tigers. Let's see how fast it'll get there. On your mark, get set, go. Come on, little Honda. Let's go, Honda. Let's go. Let's go, Honda. Let's go. And 80 is there. There's 80, and we've got a mirror going. Oh, good Lord. That took a little longer than expected, and that is vibrating. My goodness. I'm sorry, little Honda. I know that was not fun for you. Alrighty, guys, we are here on the highway with the SCL500, and I gotta be honest, guys, on the highway, you are gonna feel the engine. Like, we are pushing the engine as far as we can go right now. I've got power, I've got passing power if I need it. As you guys can see, I can move through traffic with no problem. But you do not have too much more. We're going in 6th gear at 75 miles an hour, so we're going highway speeds. And I've got some power left, but I don't have a ton. So just keep that in mind. Also, wind resistance wise, I'm getting all the wind right now. It is, you know, hitting me in my chest. I am upright. I don't like this on the highway because of how little wind resistance I have. And also because of this body position, I feel I'm kind of getting blown all over the place. I don't feel like unstable, but I can feel the wind having its way with me. This is just not a bike that's going to excel great on the highway. If you're doing a little 30-minute commute, I don't think it'll really matter, especially like when you're in traffic. You're probably not even going to be going highway speeds anyway. But I'm not loving this for the highway. We don't have cruise control, obviously, like, you know, minimal electronics here. But the seat's comfortable, and now that we're going down to 70 miles an hour, it's kind of chill. It's when you get above 70 that the engine's super buzzy. I can feel it in the handlebars and in the pegs. And you can just feel that the engine's just like, do I have to go much faster? It's just not an ideal place for that, which is fine. Every bike doesn't have to be great at everything. And this is just one of those bikes that I would be like, do I have to get on the highway? It semi reminds me of my old WR250 that I had. That thing hated the highway. It was not happy at all. This thing isn't as bad, but it's not in that category. So guys, I'm going to finish up here on the highway. Hey Cardo, play me a montage to get me off this highway with this motorcycle. Alrighty guys, that's it for the highway on the SCL500. Definitely would skip if I had the option. Also, thank you, Cardo, for sponsoring the First Ride series. If you guys like listening to music while you ride, I couldn't ride without music. Definitely get yourself a Cardo. I got a discount code for you in the description. Thank you, Cardo, for sponsoring the First Ride series. I love my Bluetooth. I also love turns. Let's see what this softer suspension feels like. You know, it's not terrible. It's not jumping around as much as I kind of expected it to be. But I will say the bike doesn't want and love to be thrown into a turn. That's what I'll say about the little 500. It just kind of seems like, okay, cool, I can do that. You know, but some bikes, you get excited when you throw those things over and lean it through a turn. This bike, not so much. Didn't feel bad. Honestly, felt way more stable than I kind of expected it to, but not a bike that I would buy to go into the mountains and ride technically with. All right, so guys, let's talk more about this parallel twin that Honda has put in the SCL500. One, this is a very proven power plant. Honda has put it in every one of their 500cc bikes. It seems like they have. It's tried, true, tested, is great on gas. It's going to be your typical Honda engine where it does a phenomenal job. It doesn't overly excite you. And I do think this is a bike that lends more towards that torquey feel than that horsepower feel. And I think you're going to get the best time out of it when you're in the city where you can make use of that torque. Power-wise, I believe we're looking somewhere around 46 horsepower and 32 foot-pounds of torque, which are very fun numbers for city riding. And you are going to peter it out on the highway going in 6th gear. You know, as long as you're not going too much over the 85-mile-an-hour mark, you should be okay. Now, the suspension, pros and cons, right? It's super soft. You can tell by all the shots you've probably been seeing in the camera car. If I'm going to be honest, guys, for this bike, I kind of love the suspension. It's super soft, and in the city, if your city is like mine, and the roads are trash, and they're bumpy as hell, this bike is supremely comfortable and fun to ride. It kind of soaks up all the bull crap in the road. Like that, dude, barely felt it. So I kind of love the suspension for that. And I don't think the person that's going to be ideal for this bike is going to buy this to do technical riding. And in that case, the softer suspension works really well. We do have that single disc brake up front, and in my experience, it's okay. It slows me down adequately, but it is nothing to write home about at all. But again, it's not really a performance motorcycle. Now, shifting wise, I've talked about the light clutch, what I do appreciate, and the shifter is a little light as well. I wish I got a little more feedback from the transmission, but as far as the gearing, I've been very happy with it. If I was going to do anything, I would maybe adjust the gearing maybe to get a little more top speed out of the bike so I didn't feel like I had to wring it out on the highway. But if I did that, I'd also want a windscreen to give me a little more wind resistance. Overall, for a comfortable cruising around bike, this thing's a solid package as far as all that goes. Let's get on the mediocre brakes here. Yeah, it's just not something that you're going to be like, man, I can stop on a dime. Then again, the bike is MSRPing at $6,799, so you got to get your expectations right for that. Alrighty, guys, let's talk about the rider controls up here. Starting off with the grips, I think the grips do a solid job of giving me grip on the controls. The only problem is I think they're really hard. If I got this bike, I would definitely swap out the grips relatively quickly. And like I kind of started out with, guys, this bike is really simple. There's not a ton of stuff going on, and the controls are very Honda, meaning the buttons are massive, as you guys can see. There's not a lot of controls because there's not a lot of stuff to control. You got some buttons up here on your little dash area. I do like the levers. They feel like they're in a good spot. They're not really adjustable. Like I did say, the clutch lever is very light. The brake lever is fine. I wish the brakes in general were better, but I do wish the levers were blacked out. I think that would really add to the look, but unfortunately they're not. Luckily, levers are really easy to swap out. That truck's not gonna go, right? Wow, that's cool. Just all right, just don't care. That's fine. So yeah, guys, levers are huge. You can see by that giant kill switch. Very Honda situation. The buttons feel fine. They got a good feedback to them. They feel, you know, middle of the road. Nothing crazy, very Honda. Next up, we have the dash. And the dash, I think this is going to be the first time I'm saying this, but when I'm looking at this bike overall, I feel like the bike deserves an analog dash. I would love to have a physical needle on this motorcycle. I think that would just fit the vibe a lot better. And the dash that we have here is not bad. It's very simple, but there's not a lot of stuff to put on a dash. So why not make use of that old school scrambler look and put an analog dash? I think that would be really neat and would fit the bike better. But unfortunately, we have this kind of simple dash. It tells you everything you need to see. If you've got the gas gauge, speedo, your trip, all that stuff. It's not bad, but I feel like it's a missed opportunity. I feel like they could have done something better with that. And overall, the look is very thin up here. We also have a 3.6 gallon gas tank. If you guys are not familiar with Honda bikes, especially this 500, these things sip gas. You are going to get phenomenal gas mileage out of these things. And that's one of the reasons Honda is what Honda is. You know, like, you get reliability, you get fuel efficiency, and those are fantastic qualities to have in a motorcycle. So guys, we're going to pull off up here when we get to the church parking lot. And I know y'all been getting to look at the camera car footage. Hopefully you've been enjoying it. You can thank the sponsors for us being able to afford to do camera car stuff. And we're going to pull off out here and do a walk around of the SCL500. I am a sucker for the scrambler looks. I am guilty of that. I also really like the green. I keep almost hitting that horn when I go to do the blinkers. I wish they were separated a little more. Also, Honda, thank you for having separate sided blinkers. I realize on a cost-effective bike, it's very easy to just put the one blinker. I appreciate having two. Mostly because I hate the one. Man, look at all the sticks. Jesus. Must have had a big old storm here. Alrighty, guys. I love the key on the side. Dude, I'm a sucker for that. Alrighty, guys. Let's do this walk around of the 2023 Honda SCL500. So overall, guys, I think this is a solid looking bike. I kind of love it. And when you look at it, compared to the Rebel, which is their kind of medium weight cruiser, the main difference, I believe it has the exact same engine and the exact same frame. The subframe on the Scrambler is more higher up, so it sits you up higher. The Rebel kind of sits you down here, and it has a different exhaust, obviously, to kind of fit the bike better. But overall, I love the Scrambler look. I love the bigger front tire, and I love the position of it. And I think these are phenomenal, just do everything bikes. Though Honda's not really pushing this bike to do off-roady stuff, which you do. It kind of comes with the territory with a Scrambler, but you know, there's nobody out there doing any Scrambler stuff or off-road stuff with this bike yet, at least. I imagine you put a set of knobbies on and maybe get a skid plate. Who knows what you could do. But overall, love the green. I love that Honda already builds in these little pads that are very grippy on the gas tank. Really helps you stay controlled on the bike. Now, I do say the swing arm doesn't really do it for me. It just doesn't look, I don't know, beefy enough. Kind of not a fan of that. But I love the look of the exhaust, honestly. The stock guy. I love that. Love the blacked out engine. Kind of lets you just focus on the overall silhouette of the bike. And I love that they did that. You guys can see how this is, you know, a designed feature on Scramblers, these big seats. I would definitely want to get a fender eliminator because I think this bike would be really cool if it just kind of like got cut off right there. And that's one of the cool things that seems to be happening with this bike is Honda, like from launching it, have shown a lot of custom builds. So I'm excited for this to get in the market, and a lot of companies make some parts for it, and you can really customize these things. I think the sky is going to be the limit as using this as a platform to build something cool off of. So that'll be really interesting to watch moving forward. If I had this motorcycle, that would be the first thing I change. Why are you going to put a reservoir that's white and cheap looking like that when you got all this blacked out stuff? You even have like a radiator guard. Like, come on, black that thing out. All right, guys, so that's the Honda SCL500. I'm going to grab my phone off my quad lock, and I'm going to do some content for our vertical fam over on Instagram and TikTok. If you guys are over there, we are at C2WPics on Instagram, and we are at Chase on Two Wheels on TikTok. I'm going to go make some vertical videos for them, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, that's the vertical videos for the people over on those platforms. Time to get back on it, see what the steering sim lock test is, would I purchase or pass on it, and who's it for? Alrighty, guys. Hi, man. The key on the side, I know it means nothing, but I do kind of love it. Alright, steering sim lock test. It's okay. Okay, little Honda. Bro. Dude, we're that's top 25% right there. Okay. Okay, Honda. I see you. Alrighty, guys. The big question, purchase or pass on Honda's SCL500? Well, here's where I'm at with this. I love the Scrambler platform. I've been a fan of the Triumph Scrambler, their bigger, 1200 and 900 Scrambler, for a while now, aesthetically. I love the looks of those bikes. And as just general all-around bikes, I think they're a fantastic platform. Now, I'm going to go pass on the SCL500 only because I have not gotten to ride Triumph's new 400 Scramblers yet, which are really going to be the biggest competition that this bike has. I love these bikes for the low CC class because these bikes are not bikes you get to do crazy performance, whether on road or on dirt. These are not bikes to do that on. Scramblers are just the kind of do-it-all bike, cruise around, have a good time. This is a great bike to have and not take too seriously, and I think this power is plenty for that. But I don't want to make a decision yet until I ride its competitor. But overall, I kind of love this thing for what it is. All right, now the next question is, who is this bike for? One might be kind of obvious. If you are a new rider and you kind of want to just chill ride around the city, go here and go there, and just enjoy a more relaxed riding situation, I think this would knock your expectations out of the park. I feel like the power delivery is very consistent. You can get on this bike having never ridden before, and I think you will adopt to it very well. And I think you'll have a phenomenal time if you're a brand new rider. So that's one person. I'd also think another person that would love this bike would be the person that has maybe a bigger bike that they have for an intended purpose. You're looking at maybe like you have an R1 that you do track days with, but you don't want to, ride on the weekends around town on your R1. You only want to do like technical riding and stuff like that. But you want a fun little bike to kind of ride around town in. Bro, this thing would be so good. It's comfortable. The suspension is soft. It doesn't take motorcycling too seriously, and I mean that in a good way. I feel like this is such a good bike to just have and put miles on and not have to give a shit. Keep up with the oil changes and stuff like that. But dude, it's a Honda. It's going to last longer than you will. I guarantee it. And especially with all the customization that's coming out for this thing, this would be such a fun little bike to have as your like ride around town bike. That is where, that kind of fits into my situation where I have some pretty like specific built motorcycles for what they do. And I don't really have a need for this bike. But I love to just get on it and ride nature of it. I love being on a bike that I don't have to take too seriously. I know it's going to be reliable. It's going to get great gas mileage. And if you look at this bike for that and you add in all the cool customization that you're going to be able to do once it hits the aftermarket, I think this is an absolutely incredible casual bike that doesn't take motorcycling too seriously is the best way I have to put it. But guys, that's about all I've got on the SCL500. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. And shout out to my guys over at Mountain Motorsports. They're the dealership I started it, and they are who allows me to do these first rides. There's going to be a link in the description down below for bike provided by. If you guys are looking for a motorcycle in the North Georgia area, they got multiple locations, massive inventory. Definitely a place you guys need to check out if you're looking to buy a motorcycle and not run into the people ahead of you. But anyways, guys, check those guys out in the description down below. I'm Chase on Two Wheels. I appreciate you guys riding around with me. If you got to this point in the video, you're in the outro crew, put OC in your comment down below and let me know, do you like this or do you like the Triumph Scramblers that are coming out soon? Let me know which you pick and why. And here at the end of the video, I'll put another Scrambler option that I think you guys might enjoy watching the first ride on. Y'all ride safe out there, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.